Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Nasty Season 2. That video, once again, everyone give a shout out to Lego Mage. Great content. How's it going, Spooked Alter?
Hello, it is going fantastic, and I am ready to, cast this amazing first game of NAST Season 2. I believe it is Famine Corp versus Cat Munch Enjoyers.
Correct, Famine Corp versus Cat Munch Enjoyers. This was a matchup that happened in Launchpad 1 in the winner's side, with first Cat Munch Enjoyers taking an upset over Lions Eat Bears, and then meeting up with Famine Corp, and Famine Corp did win that last time. Do you expect the same thing to happen?
I don't exactly know what I expect to happen in this match, which is one of the reasons why I'm really excited to cast and watch it, but because there's so many different things that I can think of, at least matchup-wise, because, like, on one hand, Cat Munch Enjoyers have Sphinx, who is, known for that Juno pick, very long time playing it, and very much is the most experienced person on it for this field. So it's going to be interesting to see how they ban or play around that. And on the other side of things, you have like Flowers, who is also very well known for like playing into like Vice and Vinny and damage. So I don't know how this matchup is going to go. I genuinely, it can go either way.
Yeah, I think generally it can go either way. Juno was banned last time, right? Sphinx was on this Drakkar, and a lot of the way that Famine Corp did beat this team of Cat Munch Enjoyers is just killing Sphinx on repeat, because a lot of what happened last time is Cat Munch Enjoyers, they'd completely out core control, get barriers, and then oops, Sphinx died, and then the momentum would instantly shift, double barrier at opposite side, and then goal, right? That's a lot of the play pattern of what happened in Cat Munch Enjoyers versus Famine Corp. I want to see if Cat Munch Enjoyers can figure out a way to adapt, maybe put Sphinx on something like the Now, or perhaps just focus on keeping Sphinx alive.
Yeah, I mean, they've had a lot of time to review the matchup, and they knew they were going to fight them again, so it's definitely going to see how both teams are fighting to adapt to this, and what they can change, what they will do, if they can keep that edge that they had, and that won them the game last time, or if this time around, they will have evolved high enough to see. Do we know our maps yet?
Yeah, we're going to Taiko Temple Game 1, which is Cat Munch Enjoyers' pick, Night Market Game 2, which is Famine Corp's pick, and if we go to Game 3, that'll be on Clarion Test Chamber.
Okay, so it seems that both teams are really favoring these closed quarters maps, being Taiko and Night Market, and then the last one's way more up for that open style, being Clarion. So definitely, okay, that's interesting to see that both teams are preferring to go to these more laney maps. I can understand it for Juno, but definitely interested to see how that's gonna work.
Hey, well, we'll see how it shakes up. And Juno, one of those premier picks on Taiko Temple in the midfield role. Taiko Temple overall has a lot of flexibility in that midfield role. But Juno just being so good and being able to core control so well, I'm not quite sure what the character draft ended up being, or if that has already been done. We'll have to see if that's going to be coming on soon, but I think if it were not for the Juno, what do you think would get taken away from Cat Munch Enjoyers if they let it through?
So, well, we don't have to really depend on this if anymore. It seems we're going right into ban now, and our awakenings are egoist and built different. Definitely strong awakenings here, and because it's Taiko Temple, both teams are going to be looking forward that like Asher pick, right? Super
Yes.
prominent on this map, and it seems that Cat Munch Enjoyer does have first pick here. So definitely interested to see what they will ban. I imagine that Famine Corp will. That's interesting because they either have to ban Juno and give them first pick Asher, or ban Asher and get first pick Juno. That's actually really. I'm very curious to see what they do here.
Yeah, but the one thing that's slightly awkward though is that yes, Mudflap, he is a known Asher player. He also likes this X too, but after that, there, like a lot of Mudflap's other picks, I would say are a little weaker, right? He can play the Rasmus, he can play the Julius and Taro. It's just not nearly to the level that he can play this Asher and this X, right? So there is that worry that if say they ban Asher, let Juno through, and then Catmatch and Joyce picks Juno, if X is off the table, it might be a little tough. But then again, it is still Sphinx Juno, and that's a real worry.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a lot of. It seems. I mean, Catmatch and Joyce actually did their research clearly because they are very favored for this map. I think, at least in terms of character-wise, and because the other people like Potat really likes that like Luna goalie, which struggles a lot on this map, where there's just you have to definitely hold it down more than what you would want to see. So it's definitely going to be interesting. But what do you think about the picks? What are you expecting to be banned if it's not going to be the Juno or Asher?
I mean, I think it is just going to be that, and then on the opposite side, there is a chance they could just throw a Rasmus ban the other way, because I would argue that right now, even better than his Luna is Potat's Rasmus. A lot of people don't really know him for it, but he has played it numerous times and looked really good on the pick, and I feel like Potat's Rasmus is probably the best out of the picks for any of the players on Famine Corp, right? Otherwise, Gwimmy is pretty comfortable on Asher, X, even Zentaro. She played it against Catmatch and Jors last time. Flowers, not just the Vice, but also the Aimee, another good pick. Aimee is great on this map as well, being able to cut off a lot of clears with that Firewall Sentry, force things really well, and especially if you have that deadly duo of Aimee Asher, it's a nightmare.
Yeah, Aimee Asher would be a deadly combo, which is why I'm pretty sure that they're not going to let that happen with the first pick of the Asher, or the ban, depending on how it is. But if that's not played, I don't see, because like with these Awakenings, with Egoist, it's a lot harder to go into damage because they're just going to have a lot more energy and a lot more speed to get around your damage. So I think that is definitely not what you want to see if you're on the side of Famine, if they're playing for the kill, which they can, but now they lost that option.
Yeah, it's pretty tough, but I think that Taiko Temple is still a very good kill map. It is a little tough with the Egoist on the opposite side. You're going to be building up so much energy, making it pretty tough to continue to focus kills. But especially in EUSL, right? Taiko Temple is the Atlas Lab or the night market of EUSL. They love it over there, like over the coast. But it's because of that we see so many lethal games.
Yeah, I have not really been keeping up with the EUSL at all, so I don't know that much about it, but I do know that Taiko Temple has definitely climbed the popularity, at least in terms of tournament play for the NA, because like everyone used to know like AtLab as like the map you go to in tournaments because you end up banning all the other maps, and it's like, oh, we're on AtLab again for the 8 millionth time. But lately Taiko has been kind of making that spot less of just the AtLab, and now it's AtLab and Taiko. So it's definitely a lot more people are comfortable on it, but yeah, I would say this map has definitely grown in popularity over the other maps that came before, which is interesting.
Yeah, and I'm really wondering what's up with the situation, if it's a visual bug or if a draft is happening. Oh, it looks like on the side of Catmatch and Jors, we have Dudu, Now, Zentaro, and on the side of Famine Corp, we have Rasmus, Aimee, Julie. Asher was banned. Yeah, Asher was banned by Catmatch and Jors, and Juno was banned by Famine Corp.
Yeah, okay. The way I can see now on stream it's getting filled because my eyes are definitely a visual processors. But I believe our match should be starting now very soon because the characters are done, so we'll get to see it. But that's definitely interesting that even though they had first pick, they banned Asher.
Yeah.
Opposite.
It's a little weird. I mean, I guess maybe they're just maybe they just wanted to get Sphinx to now and say just, okay, we're gonna make sure that Sphinx lives, because if we know that Sphinx can live, we can play through him and win the game that way.
Yeah, and I believe here everyone except Pota is going to be taking Egoist, which makes sense on Rasmus goalie. You want that size, makes your primary work better and your secondary buffs basically your almost half your, or almost your whole kit, over your half your kit.
Yeah, I think this Zen is going to be a little miserable taking a lot of these interactions against the Rasmus that's that big. And oh my god, the
Wow.
damage just comes out and Mudflap is taking it completely off the map.
Yeah, I mean, that was a ton of damage right off the bat. I mean, that's what happens when you have someone like Rasmus and Aimi. They just can stack up all that damage in the world, and then your Julie can finish them off. But now, it seems Guaymi's going to be on that receiving end of the damage. Jewish Asian might be looking for the kill, but can't quite find it now. They're going to have to back up and get the orb. It seems like this game has entered that stage of round 1 where some people are barely getting level 2 and using that ability, but not everyone.
And there it is. Guaymi's taken off the map, and now we have a power play favoring Catmatch enjoyers. But Flower sticks over to the Egoist, almost finds the barrier with it, but it's saved by Jewish Asian.
Yeah, definitely a nice save here. Sphinx kind of milking this energy in the midfield. He's going to be able to make a nice play here soon, but it seems right now the energy advantage is slightly not in their favor. Oh, but there's the barrier down now. Open net. Anything can happen here. Sphinx is moving up in this corner. Mudflap trying to get it through, but Pota is stalling with the Core Flip. Definitely a nice play. Now Guaymi has the Scorp Dip, but Dubu Fortress.
And oh, a great clear out by Sphinx. Sphinx burns that energy burst, not wanting to risk any chance of death. And there it is, Mudflap with the Oni's blade. Jewish Asian looks to try and send it forward. Doesn't want to let Guaymi get this barrier. She does, but it's a clear out by Jewish Asian. Mudflap, rush the flip. Pass down to Sphinx. No, just to dribble to himself. Almost finds the goal. Now Guaymi, she's about to take over with this flip. Finds the dash punch. The flip missed, but the pass up by Flowers. It's just going back and forth.
Yeah, I mean, this is quite the overtime play round 1, but it does seem Mudflap is going to find a nice spot. Pota with no Death's Touch is going to be able to grab it, and that's going to be the end of point 1. But point 1 doesn't really tell too much of a game. All it does is just make everyone level 2. Now, this kickoff is definitely an important thing, because this is what you're going to be in for the long haul of the game. And a Dash Punch comes out, but does not find the kill, but does find a ton of damage. But that now character is able to make that damage just disappear. And now they're moving in. Ooh, a nice play from Mudflap there, where he bounced it off the back bumper to get that barrier. Now they're pushing into this corner. Can they find it? No, not quite yet.
Yeah, great clear up by Mudflap, and now there it is. There's the barrier, the flip, not used, dipped, and Sphinx is taking so much damage, has to heal himself up, and there's that Firewall Sentry pop down, up to Guaymi. Guaymi finds the strike, but not into the goal, and now we have it changing to the other side as Mudflap looks for this bottom barrier. Great hook, just zones away Mudflap.
Yeah, and now Potat in this corner, but will he be able to find a way through? It seems that these bumpers are just bouncing it right back to him. Mudflap not quite able to find the goal yet, but it does seem on the other end. Guaymi finding that kill, and now they have the power play. Will they be able to make the transition? Oh, there's the dribble, but there's not the goal unless... Oh, wow. I mean, now Oni's blades coming out, the turret's down, but it seems no goal can quite be found. This midfield is being hard fought and hard won by Sphinx, and now Mudflap is able to find the barrier. Will they be able to find the goal? They get the ball up. There's the primary from the Rasmus. That is very, very large, very hard to score between. Core Flip comes out, launched across, but no ball is going into any net. Not yet.
And what's going off the map is Mudflap as he takes so much damage, knocked away. Flowers, she has the flip. She's trying to work through that Tofu Fortress. A great clear by Jewish Asian down to the bottom side. Patat looking for this clear, and it's a primary from now that takes it.
Wow. I mean, definitely a good out clear read from Sphinx there. Definitely has been working off of the Juno, which is like, you kind of have to when you're playing in a league like this, because you know that you're most likely going to be banned out.
Yeah, I mean, there's a really good chance you are, but oh my god, Mudflap just bounced off the middle, taken right off, but Jewish Asian, he has this flip for the defense, and maybe just uses on the offense as Sphinx plays back.
Yeah, it definitely seems that Jewish Asian there played very smart by playing up with that flip as that safety net. Now, back in the goal net though, now that Mudflap is back alive, they will be able to Tofu Fortress with, but it's going to bounce it back in. That's Dubu lore for you right there.
Yeah, Dubu lore. And I think the other thing I want to highlight is I really love how Jewish Asian uses these logs, a lot of them just to stall out these pushes from Famine Corp, and then some of the others also just to set up for plays with Sphinx, right? But on the opposite side, we see three flips that could be used at any moment, and there's that first flip committed. for that defense, but not much to be found. There's a flip up to Flowers. There's that flip to the top side. Great job.
Wow, great play from Flowers there. They definitely used their spacing very well just to be able to manage that. But it did burn three flips on the side of Famine. So now they are at a little bit of an energy disadvantage, and they're 1 point away from the set being over and not in their favor. So they're going to have to make sure not to get scored on by this flip. But Mudflap definitely wants to secure the round here, the set, I should say. Now, both barriers down. Jewish Asian holding on to both of his. It's going to be looking a little rough for Famine Corp here.
Yeah, it looks like the energy famine that Famine Corp is suffering might do a lot to them, and a great stall up, and Mudflap buys them so much time, but Sphinx still has 5 seconds to go before he's back, and Jewish Asian has to save this. Doesn't. Now he's at an open net. Mudflap has to come back in time, and a great secondary means that he can stall it until Sphinx is back.
Yeah, now Sphinx back in this midfield, holding this zone down with the now character very well. Now Mudflap has the score up to him. Can't quite find it. The triangle is going to be holding that down clear for them. Sphinx winning that strike four. Nicely gets that glitch pop. Another score attempt. The Oni's blade comes out. Oh, but not quite. Pota is able to hold it down. Desperately trying to hold on to this point. But the ball is actually flying backwards now. But, oh, look at all that damage that Pota is able to do to Mudflap and move past him to take him out of the play completely.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is oh, okay, I did not expect that. And, well, I mean, Sphinx takes the first set, but I was going to say the thing is that Mudflap is really going to continue to suffer. If Patat gets more damage, he's just not going to be able to play the game on this offense.
Yeah, that's the reverse Oki for you when their enemy Rasmus just gets like 1-2 punch and a bunch of power. You do not get to play the game.
Well, Kata Ego does happen now as Sphinx picks that up. I think we might see either Weasel or Knife's Edge for this Rasmus, potentially a Hot Shot. Yeah, Hot Shot just for that CDR and just core speed. Knife's Edge for Julian. The Centaur, I guess he just picks up dash range.
Yeah, definitely. I would say, honestly, yeah, this draft desperately goes in the factor of Famine here. I mean, Aimi gets Timeless, and then Knife's Edge on Julie, Hotshot and Rasmus. Even though Sphinx did get Kata Egoist, I don't think that outpaces what Famine just got.
Probably not, but Kata Ego is still insanely good, and especially on a character like Now who has really good energy generation. I don't think the side of Catmunch Enjoyers is too down about it. And also, I mean, Jewish Asian has the scaling potential of this Spark of Rizzo.
Yeah, the sparking will definitely be something that can come into play later, but right here, Guaymi doesn't quite have the damage yet to make that dash punch work, and now making that pressure for that last barrier. Can't quite get it. Now Flowers having to help defend here. Guaymi pushing up on this midfield, but Sphinx is not letting this zone go. He's been holding it down this whole game. Finally, a little bit of power gets through there, but can't quite find it as Jewish Asian, my bad, is expertly holding it down, and oh, a shot from Mudflap right into the corner. The flip can't quite reach, and that's going to be the first point.
Yeah, a great shot out by Mudflap. They do take the lead in the second point, and they burn Patat's flip for it too, right? So, yes, he didn't have Ego, so I guess that means that this just generates even slower now.
Yeah, I mean, Mudflap right here, as we're seeing, able to dodge a lot of damage, but still keep that energy up because of the Egoist. Definitely very strong starting Awakening, but it doesn't seem on the other end Guaymi is able to find the same experience here. They're now staggered, trying to survive. Can't really find a safe spot to make a play here because they're just going to die if they get 2 in. And Flowers in the corner now with that Timeless. Oh, but Jewish Asian, nice timing on that somersault. Now, last barrier still standing though, strong.
Yeah, and I mean, a lot of damage getting placed onto Sphinx. Sphinx having to burn that lifeline, and there it is. Another great glitch pop, forcing Jewish Asian to continue on this defense. Patat just keeps finding great clears against Mudflap.
Yeah, these clears are definitely nice. Oh, the Oni's... What the heck just happened there? It just slipped right through that Tofu Fortress. I mean, that ability is very disturbing sometimes.
But yeah, Mudflap now on this bottom side. Sphinx Mudflap playing this nice vertical offense, but it just slips right through as Patat finds a great clear. A great dash punch dodge means that Mudflap doesn't leave his team in that 2v3. And another great clear out by Jewish Asian. This Timeless Aimi turret did not really do much, and there's that flip. Up on this top side, might have used it defensively. Opts for that, but it just keeps getting stuffed by Sphinx. Sphinx not letting go of this lane.
Yes, like Sphinx this whole game has had one objective. Oh my god. And his objective switched right there from holding the lane to scoring. Expertly done.
Yeah. I mean, Sphinx has just been playing this so well.
Yeah, I mean, Sphinx, as we can see right here, his primary objective is to hold that top lane and just not let it go through. He's not really helping Mudflap too much on the scoring, but he doesn't need to, because all he knows is that Mudflap will get an encounter after encounter after encounter against Potat if he just holds that one lane and Jewish Nation slowly moves in with the other one with that strike shot and that log. So definitely, and that's how you should really play now. So he's playing it really well.
Yeah, slightly awkward interaction there as Mudflap actually dashes away from his own now lifeline, because, I mean, that's a thing you can do, apparently. We love this John Odyssey. Anyway, he does heal up in the end, so it's not really all bad. But now with one barrier apiece, Catmuch and Joyers are poised to take this game up at least 2-0 in sets.
Oh, Zentaro dash sometimes does that funny thing, and I know why Mudflap had to do that, because he was scared of dying, because he was at very low HP and Potat had flip, but now Guaymi is going to find that low HP Zen and going to make sure to get him off the map for a little bit. Power play, Flowers with the insta-flip shot, he's going to get the last barrier. Now Guaymi trying to get the last one, but stunned away from the core flip. Now they're staggered. Will they be able to find the kill on them? No, they won't, but they also can't find the goal yet, so it's still in their favor. Mudflap goalie checking Jewish Asian just for a second, but it's okay, because he was able to handle it, and now they have the power play.
Yeah, now they have the power play, and now they need to find some good passing plays. Otherwise, Potat is just going to continue to be able to hold, and there it is. Guaymi is back, and oh no, the bounce means it goes right around Jewish Asian.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes those little bumpers on there can just hit it in a random direction, and you can't quite read it. And unfortunately, that happened to Jewish Asian now, but still, it's looking the same as last set, where they were up 2, and the enemies have Famine Corp have 1. And now in this corner, Mudflap is going to be able to get it through with that slice and dice. Zentaro primary. And staying alive here, Sphinx with that recovery. They will be seeing Mudflap getting a lot of damage on Guaymi. He has flip, he's going to burn it, he's going to dash through, but the secondary from Potat is actually going to stop it before he can get the ball through.
Yeah, stalls it for now, and now it's on the opposite side as Famine Corp are looking for some sort of offense. And there it is, it's cleared up to this top side. Both barriers being on this top side is kind of awkward, and there it is, there's that awkwardness showing. Sphinx burning that flip in order to stay alive, and a pass up to Mudflap means that Flowers has to burn that flip, and oh no, the roll almost mispositioned.
Yeah, I mean, those... Oh, in the corner, Mudflap almost got it through with that primary, but can't quite find it now. Jewish Asian with the strike shot's going to be able to give Mudflap another attempt. There's the Oni's Blade, there's the passive strike, not quite enough, but Sphinx right behind him, giving him that extra power. Jewish Asian coming up from the top, not able to quite get the flip off where he wants to, but it's okay because Mudflap wins the strike ore and wins the set.
Yeah, they win the sets. And, well, this is a great position for this team, and now we'll see, does Sphinx get something like the Fighter Flight or something great like that? Not so much. The Rapid Fire is pretty great. Might have to deny the Big Fish for double size. It's tough, but there's still perfect form, and okay, perfect form opted for.
Perfect form makes a lot of sense. It's definitely not going to get through to Zentaro here, but the extra special pickup makes a lot of sense on Dubu because you cannot let Flowers have timeless extra special. It's just way too strong. Zentaro getting the ad rush is always nice, and Julie getting prize fighter is also really nice. I mean, I don't think anyone really won this draft. I mean, a lot of people got really good stuff.
Yeah, everyone lost the draft. That's what I'm hearing. No, I'm kidding.
Everyone won or everyone lost. Glass half full or half empty.
Real. But now we have to see if Guaymi can turn this game around. She does have the stuff she needs, right? Egoist, of course, everyone has, but Knife's Edge Prize Fighter, if you can figure out a way to snowball off of this, you can win. But Sphinx has been really good with evading a lot of these dash punches. There have been a few times where he's gotten caught off guard, but otherwise, he's been playing those pretty well.
Yeah, definitely the win con for Famine Corp here is to have Guaymi start hard scaling with that damage, whether that's be Aimi and Rasmus just dump cooldowns on the Mudflap, and then Guaymi comes and finishes them just to start the prize fighter scaling. Whatever they need to do, though, they might need to do it soon here because they've lost both barriers, and Mudflap is in this corner pressuring that goal, and the energy advantage is on their side, but there's the turn from Flowers trying to get it through, but the Oni's Blade is going to stop it, but the core flip is actually going to stop, but the counter core flip with the shot on the top can't quite find it through. Seems that this power play might go in their favor with Guaymi pushing forward with flip, and there's the punch to secure the goal.
Yeah, surprised it went through that doobie roll. I thought the doobie roll caught it on the flip. I guess it caught it right before the flip, and then the flip sent it through, right? I guess the flip dash punch combo sent it through. Still, great job out by Famine Corp, and this is kind of what they need in order to start coming back.
Yeah, they definitely need something like this. Unfortunately, they couldn't quite get Guaymi an assist on that for the prize fighter, but it's fine because it doesn't seem they needed it. They're able to secure both barriers for it. Either one of theirs dropped. Now they have the play, but Jewish Asian moving up with the log, giving that Mudflap one extra strike, but can't quite get it as that turret is going to be used defensively. Now Guaymi trying to score with that punch, not quite able to find it. There's the Oni's blade, there's the dribble in the corner. Very well done from Mudflap here. Now both barriers down, and the goalie has lost their flip and lost their goal as well, as they're able to nicely read the play and get in there for a nice 1-1.
Yeah, I mean, Mudflap, Sphinx, both of them played that so well on that offense. Mudflap with a really sick combo to get the double barrier and then almost get the goal, and then Sphinx teleporting back, getting that pass forward, allowing for Mudflap to secure that.
Yeah, definitely well played. Sphinx low here, getting the flip off, and okay, that was smart from Sphinx, because when you're that low and you're trying to flip, you're not going to get the barrier most likely because they have 3 on it, and you're less than half HP. They'll just dump abilities and you'll just die randomly.
Yeah, that will happen, and there it is. Guaymi up close, burns that flip, burns the barrier off of Cabbage Enjoyers, and now Flowers needs to find some sort of angle. Doesn't really, and there's the flip. Opposite side, Mudflap. Mudflap does find it. It comes down to him, and a great save out by Potat. Buys time for the Famine Corp, but the great midfielding out by Sphinx means that Cabbage Enjoyers might just take this point.
Yeah, I mean, they have the ability to do it. They have the energy advantage. There's the Catalyst proc and giving Sphinx flip off of the damage from the dash punch. Moving up with this flip, getting it through the turret. Nice strike shot. Jewish Asian helping that forward. There's the flip. Can't quite find it, but they still have a little bit of pressure here. Jewish Asian with another pass. Getting it to Mudflap. Nice evade from Sphinx. Definitely staying alive here. Don't want to feed the Julie more prize fighters. They only have one, but you don't want to see that snowball start going through. There's the dash.
Oh,
it's going to
no.
get Jewish Asian. And now the power play is going to lead to something. Oh, but there's the Oni's blade. But Potat will be able to stop that miracle play. And Guaymi takes the point.
But that's the thing, right? Guaymi got the prize fighter stack off of Jewish Asian. This could be the snowball to end this set.
Yeah, this definitely could be. I mean, that's what you want to see. Now Julie has 156 power, 186 when they're on that knife's edge proc. Definitely not what you want to see if you're on the enemy team, because like right here, Mudflap can just die from a dash punch. But thankfully they only had dash, but that's also going to lead to somehow both barriers going down. Now, Flowers defending in this midfield line with that egoist speed. One barrier's down. Will they be able to get the second one? Flowers with the flip will get the second one. Mudflap pushing up, trying to finalize on this goal. Can't quite get it through Sphinx here.
Yeah, and there's that flip that has to be burned by Potat, but oh no, the strike shot out by Jewish Asian. That's a set for Famine Corp.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if they scaled because of the Julie power, but let's just pretend because Julie got MVP at the end of the day. So now
And there's a 1-2 punch on the board, but oh, it's
Fighter
tough.
Flight stacks and stacks is also something you can't really pass up without at least thinking about it. But
yeah, I think it
seems
just
they
has to
will
be the
fall for
1-2 punch, right? The Aimi is going to take something good here. The Xenos for Unstoppable, actually kind of a smart pickup in that it means that you cannot be getting dash punched anymore. Now we'll get one of Explosive or Flight, or of course Stacks is always there. And I think Sphinx has been doing a pretty good job these past few sets of not dying.
Yeah, I'm very surprised Stacks on Stack is making it to last in draft, but I guess that's the game state we're in right now. Makes sense because you're... Oh, there's the Julie power with the 1-2 punch! Not just 1-2 punch, but 1-2 KOs here. Now they have quite the power play on their hands, but Sphinx is holding it down so far. Will they be able to at least keep one barrier? Doesn't seem so, but now Mudflap's online. They can hopefully just... This delayed a little longer to restabilize here. But nope, the Death Touch will save that barrier, and Guaymi will find another KO. It doesn't seem that Jewish Asian will be long for this goal. Yep, there it is. That was an insane first point for them because they have max prize fighter, and Sphinx got 0 stacks from that.
Yeah, pack it up, boys. We're going set 5. That's that massive prize fighter snowball beginning to start, and we already see Guaymi sitting at that 180 power, and that's not even taking into account the 1-2 punch that can occur for a lot of these combos. And well, the Tofu Fortress does trap that, taking one barrier, but I'm just scared for the side of Cabbage Enjoyers.
Yeah, now you are in a very bad spot where you were looking very clean, and now you're looking very worried, where you're almost guaranteed to go set 5 here. And you want to really try to make this game end now because that Julie has a lot of power and they're only going to get more.
Yeah, they're only going to get more, but I think Adrenaline Rush at least is off the table, so they don't have to worry about that. I think that showed up in set 5 and no one grabbed it.
Centauro, I believe, grabbed it.
Oh, sorry, Centauro has it. Yeah, never mind. I'm just talking for fun. But there is that double barrier that does come through, so it is an open net in favor of Catmatch Enjoyers. Never mind. A great cyber swipe comes out from Flowers, and she secures that barrier. Now on the opposite side, Sphinx is looking really low, wants to build up these stacks, wants to find a way to scale into this point, and a great EI rush from Mudflap secures it.
What a read from Mudflap, and honestly, at this point, the game is going to have to resort to, if they want to win now, they're going to have to make plays like that. Well, that's actually not true. I guess now Mudflap does technically have that Unstoppable, which means that they are immune to the Rasmus primary, which is the main thing that gets them away. But what's happening on the other side is Gwaimi is able to find both barriers and the goal because Jewish Asian was found one little step too close to the edge, and now they're really getting close to that set 5.
But that's the thing, he wasn't even found that close to the edge. He was like a third of the way across the map. It's just that Gwaimi is so powerful with everything that she just finds. Look at that! She just sends everyone all the way across the map.
Wow, I mean, that was an insane explosive. And there's the KO, and we're probably going to see another KO here. Nope, Sphinx barely can regen with that now abilities. But the ball is saved by Jewish Asian in this corner. There's the glitch pop to send it through. Jewish Asian once again barely fast enough to get through. Wow, this is very rough for them. They're able to find these KOs though. Gwaimi might be able to turn this around if they can not lose here. And there's one barrier. Will they find the second one? Doesn't seem quite yet, as Flowers is in this very nice defensive spot.
Yeah, and positionally speaking, Sphinx needs to be very careful. And there's that, oh, there's that Firewall Sentry, but Sphinx and Mudflap, they have to defend in this 2v3. No goalie to their name, and there's that flip coming out by Sphinx. Mudflap stepping back for this defense. A great dead touch. It comes forward. Mudflap, you have to save this here. The flip, it goes down to the bottom side. A great angle means that it's saved until Jewish Asian can get back. But look, Gwimmy has a dash punch. She can use it at any moment. She might just use it here. There it is. It finds Jewish Asian, but Sphinx save it for now. And there's that strike war. Clutch strike war won by Sphinx. There's the Oni's blade. Flowers, she has the slip. She's working forward with it, but it's not even needed. The strike from Gwimmy finds it.
Wow, I mean, yeah, Gwaimi was just running around with, like, I don't even know how much power that was. I should have checked, because that was a insane amount of power. 179 when not near the edge. That's not counting Knife's Edge or 1-2 punch power. That is a lot. I mean, and now they just get Stagger Swagger, so they're unkillable, and you don't get Stagger Swagger. Definitely a smart deny from them.
Absolutely disturbing now. And, well, this Aimi is not any slouch either, right? 2 sparks, one of which is that Sparker Strength and the Super Surge. That's so much damage. But on the other side, this dude who has this missile prop is going to be able to shut down even more of these lanes. And I feel like that is that slight bit of solace for Catmatch Enjoyers. But this game looks all but over if Famine Corp plays to their win cons.
Yeah, I mean, they just need to not have round 1 go the same way last time it did, because that double KO right off the bat was monstrous for them. And it seems Gwaimi is going for it, but not quite able to find it. And it seems that both people here are able to stay alive and stay out of too much damage. And now the dribbling up forward can't quite find any barriers yet, but it's all getting really close to getting a barrier here. And one barrier goes down, the whole game's going to devolve into lots and lots of damage or chaos.
Yeah, but I mean, as you see it, right, Sphinx is starting to build up those stacks, and hopefully he can keep them alive if he wants to win. And there's a great secondary, but not great enough, as the awkward bounce sends it back towards Jewish Asian's barrier. And there it is, Mudflap taken off the map. Sphinx having to 1v2 this defense, but a great clear means that now Jewish Asian, he has to burn the strike shot. He has to burn whatever he can to keep it out of his net.
Yeah, and thankfully for them, Gwaimi was not involved in that, so that they didn't get a prize fighter, but they will be involved in that one, and they will get the goal from Flowers here. Now, very bad spot. Sphinx got no stacks out of that, and Gwaimi got 1 prize fighter. Definitely not looking good here if you're on the side of Catmatch Enjoyers.
Yeah, definitely not looking great, and, well, that's one barrier, well, falling a piece, so it's fine until Mudflap dies there. Flowers' build also quite strong in the KO department. There it goes through the Tofu Fortress. Guami finding that second barrier. She might just find the goal here. Great clear out by Jewish Asian. A Strike War lost, and it might be clutch as Jewish Asian's taken off the map. But there it is, the save, the kill. It goes right through. Guami finding it.
I mean, this was an insane game to watch because you saw as it seemed that Catmuch Enjoyers were favored all the way until Guami got that prize fighter and got that 1-2 punch and just started scaling absolutely an insane amount.
Oh
As
my
we're seeing
God.
there, that dash punch almost killed, not from knockback, but from pure damage.
And there it is, Sphinx taken off the map. We are seeing us on game point here as the energy bursts are coming in for the members of Famine Corp. Jewish just has to find a way to save it. Doesn't really. There's the flip. Does it go through? Yes, it does. A reverse sweep means Famine Corp takes game one.
Wow, I mean, what a game one. I mean, it looked like they were losing, and I personally thought, like, oh yeah, I mean, there's not much win con left for them to come back, but then Guami was able to just get enough power, start getting KOs, and then they were able to make the magic happen. Now, game two, I believe, is being played out on Night Market, right?
Yep, on Night Market, and that is going to be Famine Corp's playground, their choice of map. And you see this Flowers having 300 redirects, absolutely insane, dominating that midfield. Basically, just saying, "All right, Gwimmy, you do your thing. You can focus on your KOs, your damage, whatever. I'll take care of the midfield." And well, she finds it, and in the end, Famine Corp, they were losing until they weren't, and then they started winning. So there we go. Up 1-0 against Catmuch Enjoyers in a pretty similar fashion to last time, just continuing to kill.
Yeah, I mean, now if you're Catmuch Enjoyers, you're thinking about the matchup that you now have to play on their turf, being Night Market, and you know that you just saw this performance from the Julie, and Julie's very prominent and very well known for being played on Night Market, so that has to come into consideration at least at some point in your prepping here for your bans, but you also know that Potat is just going to play that Rasmus goalie if you don't take it away, and Flowers most likely will just play I'm Your Vice. So it's kind of like really hard here, at least ban-wise, what you're going to do. It might go down to just what awakenings there are, but if I'm on the side of Catmunchers here, I'm definitely needing to go back to the drawing board, at least to figure out what we're doing for bans. Because that Asher ban, it doesn't seem like they were probably going to play Asher on the side of Guimi, and you could have put it on Mudflap. I don't know. It seems like something they're going to have to think about.
Yeah, I mean, I think if I'm Catmuch Enjoyers, I'm very happy to just ban the Rasmus. Honestly, just ban the Rasmus, and then just play out with whatever else you get, right? Because I think Mudflap would be very happy with the X or the Julie or the Asher, anything really on this map. Sphinx could get the Juno maybe if some weird stuff happens in draft. Could get the Now again, and I think he won't be too disappointed with the Now because last time, a lot of the reason why he was getting killed was not because of knockback like this time, like this game. It was because of stagger, right? And yes, Now has the lowest stagger in the game, or I think second lowest after Octavia and Kazan, but she still has that healing potential.
Yeah, I mean, the healing potential from Now is usually enough, but against that team, especially against, you know, almost encroaching on 200 power without counting Knife's Edge or 1-2 Punch Julie, that's not enough healing that can out-heal that. It's just not enough. And you're definitely going to need to look for some alternative ways to stay alive by either denying some of those awakenings or by just avoiding that damage with faster characters, or as if they were on Juno, they could just jump away or, you know, make the slime so it's harder to catch you and all that. But either way, they're going to need to do something to stop that damage, because that does seem to be a huge part of Famine Corp's win con is damage.
Yeah, I mean, definitely going to be a huge part of that. Now, I do want to see what they can get done, right? If Famine Corp will take this in a 2-0 fashion, or if Catmuch Enjoyers can take things back. I'm not sure what the situation with draft is, if we are getting started on that pretty soon. In the meantime, I guess while I go check, you can just talk, yap a little bit.
Yeah, thank you, Saikeen. Yeah, I mean, we can yap a little bit. I mean, this is the first streamed game of NAST Season 2, but I believe the other games are being played out as well, right? Like right now?
And just as an update for anyone watching, Dynasty Party did 2-0 Team Arc, Polar Cortex did 2-0 Orb Chasers, and then the other 4 games seem to still be going on.
Okay, so it seems today there's been a lot of 2-0s. And if that's the case, this game might also follow the same path, and we might see a 2-0 from Famine Corp.
Yeah, we very well might, and I think I'm not particularly against it. Nothing against Catman Jajores, but the 2 teams that we have next on stream are both already ready, so we don't have to wait, and I'm so down to head right on into that. But regardless, I think what we can do is, do you think that we have a good chance of going to Game 3 here?
I think we will know if we're going to Game 3 based on what we see in bans, honestly. I think that is what's going to decide it. Less of like how they play, because I think they all play pretty close to the same level. I think it all happens out of game. Who sets themselves up for success better than the other people? Because, oh, wait. Unstoppable makes this really interesting, because now that Julie's not a problem, now that Rasmus ban is going to get a lot more prio, and the Julie ban doesn't really matter, because that, just take Unstoppable.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, now I changed my mind. I think Game 3 is highly possible now.
Yeah, game 3 I think is pretty highly possible, especially with that Chrono Boost start. I think the now is going to be great on this map, but then again, you want that Unstoppable, right? You don't want to die to just random stuff coming your way.
You take that Unstoppable if they lock in Julie. Oh,
right.
But we are going to see the ban on Julie. I guess they just don't want to deal with it at all, but usually in most cases, if you have Unstoppable start, you draft accordingly, and then you pick the Awakening depending on if they took any characters that you might need Unstoppable for, like Rasmus, Goalie, or other stuff like that. We are going to see the Juno ban, though, from Famine, which makes sense. You don't want to see it on this map. But
which speaking of which, right, there's that Asher first pick, comes in from Mudflap, denies from Guaymi. Most likely Guaymi's going to be going over to the Zentaro here. But the funny thing is if she doesn't pick it, there is a very viable world in which the Asher gets flexed over to JA, and then the Zentaro goes over to Mudflap, but no, it just gets picked up there for Guaymi.
Yeah, but yeah, as we're going to see here, there's the Zentaro, there's the Octavia coming out from the side of Famine. So does that mean Flowers is going to be playing Octavia?
I never thought I'd be saying this, but I think Flowers might be playing Octavia, and then on the opposite side, we see Mako Kai getting picked up. Not really worried too much about the damage threat, and there's the Aimi. Wait, I didn't know Patat played Aimi. I guess he does, unless we're seeing some funny Octavia goalie shenanigans.
Who is playing Octavia? My favorite game. Is it forward? Is it midfield? Is it goalie? Because maybe we'll see Zentaro goalie for no reason at all. I don't know.
Hey, maybe.
I mean,
look, we've seen all these picks in Nassel, right? We've seen Zentaro goalie in Nassel. We've seen Octavia forward and Aimi midfield.
Yeah, I mean, anything's possible. And with these players, I definitely think it's more of a, you throw cards and you mix it around in a bag and you pick one out. So we're gonna see what we're dealt here today. Either way, it's gonna be fun to watch. That I can promise.
Yeah, that's for sure. Otherwise, any thoughts about this semi-kitten comp that Cat Jars has drafted?
Well, it seems that I'm assuming Asher is forward. I'm just a little skeptical on saying yes to that just because of what I'm seeing on the enemy team here. Maybe they're all in on some joke that I don't know yet. But I guess we'll find out right now as we're loading into the game. But I think their comp is looking pretty strong because, Asher's been really good on this map, and Mudflap's more practiced, more comfortable on it. So always picking comfort is always going to be really strong. Yeah,
picking comfort is definitely going to be really strong, and I just cannot get over this. Looking at this comp, Aimi, Octavia, Zentaro, like you'd think, yeah, normally it's a pretty standard comp, but when you look at the players playing them, okay, we are going to be seeing Flowers on this Octavia with Chrono Boost. Guaymi opting for the Mag Souls. An interesting pickup, but definitely very good on this map.
Yeah, definitely interesting here. We are going to be seeing only Mag Souls being picked up on Guaymi, not on Flowers, but that kind of makes sense, I guess, when you're on Octavia, but still, I honestly like Mag Souls on Octavia, at least on this map, just because it helps you keep more speed up even if your flow stick's not on. But it seems that Mudflap here is going to opt for Unstoppable. It kind of makes sense, I guess, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Flower's looking very comfortable on this Octavia. I mean, it definitely helps that she did start with Chrono Boost. Sphinx, having taken so much damage, does have to walk away and grab that orb. Does manage to take a barrier for his troubles, but it does come back to the side of Catmatch Enjoyers.
Yeah, and now Mudflap's trying to get the score off here, but Flowers is going to be able to stop the Path Splitter from going right where Mudflap wants it. And now with the KO on the field, Guaymi and Flowers with the flip, moving up to this goal box. There's one flip, and there's the barrier. Will the second flip lead to the goal? We'll find out in a couple of seconds. But first, the counter flip from Jewish Asian's going to be able to stop it from Flowers' ultimate. And now Mudflap trying to keep it out. There's the ball going out. Sphinx has the ball, has the speed, but Potent has the core flip to counter.
Yeah, has that core flip, but a great clear up by Jewish Asian buys more time. Flowers in this midfield with the flow state, with the core flip, but uses that core flip, a great pass up to Guaymi, but it just gets cleared away, and, well, now it's okay for Catmatch Enjoyers as they no longer have a flip to deal with, but they can't deal with that strike as Jewish Asians put in a 1v1.
Yeah, definitely a tough spot to be in, definitely an interesting point, but now everyone does have level 2, so this is now more of the common state of the game here, where you start with that ultimate, especially when you're on Aimi, where you can just glitch pop in or cyber swipe in and then place that turn like they just did, but it didn't lead to anything this time, but that doesn't mean it won't lead to something the other times they do it.
Yeah, and a great first berry taken by Flowers. She's still maintaining this flow state, walking in, losing that flow state momentarily, and getting punished as Mudflap takes that double barrier. Jewish Asian using the evade to make sure he gets a safe clear, but loses the barrier in the end anyway.
Yeah, pass split from here. Mudflap trying to get the ball through. There's the night market angle, setting it right back for, but now Flowers with that flow state back online. They're going to be able to try to keep the core pressure here. Mudflap getting not quite enough speed to get through. Now Flowers getting it through. There's Guaymi trying to dash through for that play from Flowers, but can't quite get it through there. But if you know anything about Octavia, they will get it to you eventually. Just need a couple of tries, but they are actually going to find the KO first on the Sphinx. But will they be able to make use of the power play?
I think they definitely will, right? Unless Jewish Asian has something to say about it. It does get hit stunned, and that means he doesn't have this drum and bass going for a little bit longer. And a missed strike from Guaymi means that Catmatch Enjoyers do live to see another day, but there's that flip. Up to the top side, they call her the Hot Pocket.
Oh my god.
Guys, I'm sorry, I had to. I had the chance. Look, I'm doing it for the
I guess
fans.
everyone gets one, but no more Hot Pockets.
No more Hot Pockets on cast. Anyway,
I mean, it's
great plays.
On the side of Famine Corp, right, their main win con here is by scoring off of flips, because Mako is pretty hard to get through without, and they do have pretty good energy farmers being Zen and Octavia, so I guess the win con kind of exists, but it's definitely interesting to see here. They're also getting a lot of KOs, where Big was dead, now back alive, so their win con is definitely split into two paths, I see. It's winning by flip and winning by KOs.
Yeah, but I mean, the other thing you also have to just worry about is the fact that Octavia can scale, and there are going to be times where you just are going to be unable to deny her, and there was a great series of midfield plays by Flowers leading to that final barrier for the Catmatch Enjoyers, and now she's looking for the slip, but so is Mudflap.
Yeah, I mean, it seems that the energy economy is looking very, very nice if you're on the side of Famine Corp. They both almost have flip here. Flowers does have theirs. Guaymi is like 1 or 2 strikes off of theirs. I reckon probably 2 right here. We'll see how it goes. There's 1. There's 2. There's the flip. Now the other flip. Not quite able to get a spot to it, but Flowers is dribbling, keeping the flow state up, getting a little bit more speed built up, trying to get around them, but can't quite find the angles through. Mudflap not able to use that dash to get the barrier now. The ball is going to be going into Guaymi's hands sooner or later, right, more like now, and it's going to go right into the goal.
Yeah, and there it is, the first set for Famine Corp in a quite dominant fashion, looking to close this out in 2. They don't want to go to game 3.
Yeah, I mean, cast the last Octavia moment.
Yeah, I mean, it could be Castellas, it could be Fight or Flight. Opts for the Castellas in the end. The Catalyst going over to Mako. This just means the Fight or Flight probably goes to the Zen, but no, opts for this Knife's Edge. Good speed, good damage. It's a nice dichotomy of both.
Yeah, I mean, this is looking really rough, at least mentally, if you're Catmatch Enjoyers, because you just lost a reverse sweep, and now you're watching as the enemy gets Castellast Chrono Boost Octavia on set 1.
Yeah, Castell's Chrono Boost on set 1 is absolutely brutal, and oh my god, the damage coming out on Sphinx. When you have an Octavia as your midfielder, you're not expecting damage to be your win con, but it very well might in this situation.
Yeah, I mean, they are able to find a lot of KOs. Sphinx now not able to go into that play because they're damaged, not able to quite do much. Mudflap trying to get in this corner, but not able to get through this Octavia and Imi mixture here. But the play is going now in the corner with the power play, with the flow state too. Energy's only getting faster and faster here, but there's the counter flip from Rejuvenation, blocked by that turret. There's the ultimate, able to find another KO, and the power play continues, but Sphinx running up, getting that barrier. Will they be able to score off it? Probably not, because they have flips here. There's one, and there's the goal.
Yeah, there's the goal. But thankfully for Catmuch Enjoyers, I guess Mudflap didn't die to that flip, so hey, it's okay. But there's still a lot of ground to cover.
Yeah, I mean, this game is looking really rough if you're on the side of Catmuch Enjoyers. They have to deal with a lot now. Especially now that this, like, Zentaro has that knife's edge speed to just start moving up more with this Octavia. Definitely looking rough, but now they've kind of found another win con where they just murder this Octavia, not able to find the kill quite yet though. Now they're moving up, trying to get a barrier. There's the ultimate going off, trying to make something happen, but can't quite get a barrier on this Jewish Asian. There's the KO, and now here's their chance to score. And they're gonna take it.
Yeah, slight misclear up by Patat, I guess, thinking that maybe he can sneak it past Asher because Asher's in that corner, but then the path splitter comes out, meaning that, yeah, you can't really have to clear that cross, but it's still fine, I think, for Famine Corp. They're doing okay. They do lose this first barrier, but this Firewall Sentry is up on this defense, making sure they can't lose more. But there's that flip, burned out by Jewish Asian, but Guami, Flowers, looking for this offense. Flowers pops that flow state, but it might just run out, even with the Castellast.
Yeah, I mean, Castellast Chrono Boost Octavia can't do everything as much as you might seem. There is a little bit of weakness in it, but we're only on set 1 here. They still can get so much more awakenings, and they don't really need any other awakening, so it's just cosmetics at this point, or just power, whatever they really fancy. Which means that you're in an even worse spot. But Mudflap can just do that where you just KO them, and now you have the flip, you can get the barrier. Sphinx will get the ball back to you. Will you get the goal? There it is. He will be able to do it all.
Yeah, does it all, right? That flip, the great plays all together. Now, Catmuch Enjoyers, they do want to take this back. They do want to go to game 3, even though it'll be quite late. But there's that first barrier, the second barrier about to be found, but a great strike war won by Jewish Asian means that it is not found just yet.
Yeah, not quite finding the barrier, but there's one on each side now. Mudflap trying to dribble it through, can't quite find it here, but that primer will go off. But the ultimate from Flowers, not able to quite get the barrier because this Mako character able to just defend so much with their abilities. 18 million strike kind of character. Sphinx covering that out clear, but they will be able to find the in clear with Flowers in that nice spot. Right where you want your midfielder to be. Flow state, not quite able to find the ball yet though, so now you know, don't have to worry about that from Octavia, but you do also get the barrier at the same time, so good trade.
Yeah, it gets the great trade off between both sides, but it's an open net now for the Famine Corp, but Mudflap is not able to find these yet, as Patat still has this flip in case he needs it.
Yeah, and they might need it right now as they're getting this ball in the corner, but that Sentry turret is going to be able to get the ball away. There's the flip from Flowers, not quite able to get it through the barrage. Pass splitter can't find its mark. The ultimate isn't going to find anything either, so now they're just kind of in this battle for midfield, but that's not really good for Catmuch Enjoyers because that just means Octavia gets faster and faster and more energy.
And she just continues to, and there it is, refreshes it once again. She's going so fast, sitting at almost 900 speed, and there it goes. It finally times out, but Sphinx is looking so low, has to back up for this orb, and does get it, does live for now, but there's that base drop as it pushes forward, and now Mudflap needs to find something here. A great flip out by Potat, the cyber swipe up to the top side. Now, Mudflap looking for a goal attempt, doesn't really find it. Potat stalling, waiting, passing up to Guaymi. Flowers has his flow state, pop, Jewish Asian pops his flip, answered by Flowers, but clutch strike war won by Sphinx, keeps it forward. Guaymi has his flip, she's walking forward, it just keeps going around and around, not giving a chance for her, and there's that Oni's blade, the flip burned, slightly missed, but Jewish Asian's looking kind of low. He doesn't want to fall here. If he falls, this could be going to 0.5 on this set.
Yeah, I mean, it's looking rough in this corner. Flowers trying to move in with the ultimate, popping the flow state, trying to make sure that they're able to secure it now because they don't want the momentum to switch because Mudflap does have flip, waiting for that ball to get to him, wait for that time. Will the time be now? Trying to get it through. There's the flip. It's going to be blocked, though, by Flowers with that primary and strike in that corner. But Mudflap trying to save it through, but it's really hard to get it now because Flowers building up so much speed on this Octavia and has that flip just right there, almost there. Potat with the Cybertalk trying to make a play in, but not quite able to find it. Now Mudflap with the primary. Sphinx with the Giga goes right across the goal, but not quite in. And now we're seeing as Guaymi gets another shot at scoring here, not able to find it, but Flowers has this flip, trying to make a play. There's the ultimate, pushing through. There's the KO. There's the goal, and now we're on a set point from both sides.
Yeah, set point from both sides, but Catmunch and Jors really don't want to lose this.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely need to start winning now and definitely stop Octavia from getting as much awakenings as possible. And you have to worry about Zen scaling out of control because perfect form is still in the loop here. There's just too much to worry about, too much for you guys to lose another set.
Perfect form and still both Super Surge and Explosive Entrance, I believe. Just these Dash Awakenings doing so much on Zentara, and there it is. Flowers burns that flip, but does save the barrier because of it.
Yeah, there goes the barrier eventually as Sphinx is able to start maneuvering around. Definitely getting more footing in this game than originally they had, but there's the flip. Not able to quite find the ball, but thankfully the ball doesn't find the barrier either. There's the flip from Guaymi though, which will find their mark. Now, will they be able to make this final play? They don't have any flips, which is their usual scoring option, but they still have their other option where they murder. They aren't able to find the score there, but they still might have more attempts to come.
Yeah, and that Firewall Sentry really clutching, making sure that defense happens, and now Flowers looking to push forward with their speed, but speed answered with Sphinx's blazing pace. Potat looking for a great clear. This flow state continuing to build more and more as Flowers just pushes it past Sphinx, but there it is. Mudflap gets the barrier, opens it up for Catmunch. We have open nets on both sides. Guaymi looking for a dribble, looking for a dash, looking for something. There's that glitch pop. Flip about to come online for Flowers. She really needs this, and this might be the scoring tool for Famine Corp. But never mind! Mudflap finds the breakthrough.
Wow, that's secondary on Asher. Sometimes it bugs out and doesn't do what you want it to do, but sometimes it just works perfectly and does exactly what you need it to do. And this would be one of those cases, but if you're Mudflap here, you're not too happy as you're seeing both Egoist and Stagger Swagger. Amazing awakenings for Octavia are both on display, so you can't really deny them either way.
Yeah, really tough to deny, and there it is, that Stagger Swagger coming over to this Octavia. She hasn't really been taking too much damage so far, so it's not like the end of the world. And then on the opposite side, right, I guess Jewish Asian passes up the Catalyst Egoist, a little bit of an odd situation there. Grabs the Spark of Strength instead. But now Sphinx gets even more speed.
Yeah, I mean, that speed is definitely something you're going to want if you're Sphinx, because you need to try to keep up with this Octavia, at least keep them contained and be able to be fast enough to keep the ball away from them. Or, if you're Mudflap, you can just drop your ultimate and Pat split them away from it.
Yeah, Pat splits them away, but again, right, that's just a little bit of temporary damage and temporary zoning because of the Stagger Swagger that Flowers has. Makes it really tough to make any of that damage stick on her and use that to kill her. But there it is, the speed from Sphinx running in at 900 speed, taking that bottom barrier, but we've seen those levels of speed from Flowers too.
Yeah, I mean, the two speedsters known in this game are Kai and Octavia, but right now, one of them just has a little bit more gas than the other one, being as they have Chrono Boost and Castellaz. You can make the guess on which one.
Pretty tough. It's probably the one that has the Castellaz for sure.
Yeah.
And there it is. That's that second barrier falling. Guaymi looking for a mix-up. Doesn't really find it, but Sphinx is taken off the map. But that fight or flight means he gets his blazing pace back, but it's not enough as the flip goes above Jewish Asian.
Yeah, I mean, right now we're seeing as this game is just you have two speedsters, but one of them has kind of like really good awakenings. Like, you know, you have Chrono Boost, Fighter Fly, and Aerials on Sphinx, but on Flowers, you just have Chrono Boost, Castellas, and Stagger Swagger, the most amazing set of 3 awakenings you could ever get on that character. And it seems that they're also able to find the KO onto Mudflap there now. With that power play and flow state still up, they're going to be able to make a lot happen here as they're able to once again push through for that top corner shot.
I mean, through all of that, Flowers' flow state still didn't go down. She was able to use it at the end to kind of keep up with the core and make sure she could make that play to secure that point. But now, she doesn't have it here, and we'll have to see if Catmatch Enjoyers can use the Blazing Pace of the Kai while that flow state is down in order to convert.
Yeah, I mean, right here we're seeing as Mudflap's trying to get the KO onto Flowers just because you kind of need to have an answer for this monster, and usually the answer is murder. But you can't really murder them from Stagger anymore because that's Stagger Swagger, and they're just way too fast to, you know, catch up to them. So you have to do it from something like an early prediction Dash Punch, or I guess in this case the Asher version. But they're not able to quite find it, and that means that they are just going to get that speed scaling. But they're able to force through this corner with Sphinx keeping up, and now they have still a stake in this set.
Yeah, they could come back, right? Definitely very doable, but looking at the energy economy, it's very, very favored for Famine Corp, and it seems like they'll probably just take the set and blimey, we don't want to see that.
That's a lot of Zentaro abilities, but I don't think they're on the core. Not quite this time here, but we are seeing that prime or that ultimate from Flowers here, able to get that barrier. Now they almost have Flip too, which is their other, you know, win condition here, trying to secure this set here. There's the primary. There's just the absolute core pressure. They have the Sentry, all 3 players, and a Flip going into that top shot corner. What can you really do?
Yeah, Famine Corp absolutely eating today with that second set in favor of them, and now Flowers leading. Honestly, there isn't anything super amazing. Yes, the stacks is great. She is at risk of dying sometimes, but I think that's just what she'll opt for.
Yeah, I mean, you just want the stacks because you don't want the Kai to have more speed, and you just want to be very selfish here and just go all out on just this absolute speed. I mean, they already have so much base speed with Stagger Swagger now, but now they just have even more from stacks and stacks. So even if they don't have their flow state, they're still so fast.
Yeah, and we just see like a bunch of really good deny drafts here, right? Explosive, great deny away from Zen, but also just good for Kai. The second spark being denied away from Jewish Asian, but again, also great for Guaymi. And then most importantly, right, this Deadeye away from Aimi and the built diff away from Asher.
Yeah, I mean, the build difference from Asher doesn't really pay out too much as they just opt for Big Fish. But they are finally able to kill the monster that is Octavia with this power play. They're trying to get the goal. They won't quite be able to find it as Postat is defending, even with an Asher in their face. An Asher with size, keep in mind. Definitely some expert defending going on here. Now Guaymi, power plays over, trying to get both barriers, able to find one but not the other. But now Sphinx with the shot down is able to mix everybody up and take a point.
Hey, that's what you can do if you have a little bit of speed. You can find those. And, well, Sphinx is also sitting on 3 Dash Awakenings and Fighter Flight. He is just going to be moving everywhere across this map. But, hey, Famine Corp, they want to answer back. They want to take this well. And, well, with that Oni's Blade, we might see the first barrier falling down. But no, it's just saved away by JA. And, well, now Potat needs to find a way around this Asher.
Yeah, there's the flip. Not able to find it as Juice does have a response to it now. Will they be able to get the second barrier, though, off this play? Not quite yet. Juice just holding it down here, trying to make it. There's the actually not just holding it down, but taking it and dismantling their barriers, too.
Yeah, taking their barriers, but now Famine Corp, they want to push up this top side. A lot of abilities being burned, but nothing to show for it as Mudflap burns that flip. Jewish Asian burns that flip, and now Famine Corp is favored in the energy department. Flowers taking some damage from that Path Splitter, running across and burns that flip. A little scared of Mudflap, and now Mudflap is looking pretty low. Second flip burned by Potat. Guami wanting to finish off this big Asher. Make sure that she can't stay alive and give a power play for Famine Corp.
Yeah, I mean, Mudflap, though, even though they're so damaged and so close to dying, they're still staying in there and getting these barriers and getting these goals, definitely trying to bring it to step 5 point, and now we might be able to see it.
Yeah, very well might be able to. Right. Now, we do see this first barrier falling for Cat Munchinjors, and a second maybe soon to follow as Flowers and Grimy push up this corner. But no, it just gets cleared away by JA. As he always does, he manages to find these out clears so well.
Yeah, I mean, we're watching here as Mudflap is able to do a ton of damage to Flowers, but as long as they're able to escape for a few seconds, as you can see, Sagger Swagger just works its magic, and now they're just back alive, but it doesn't matter because in that time period, Mudflap was preparing, able to strike and get another barrier, and almost get the kill again. Now Grimy with the counter flip, but it's going to be blocked away by Jewish Asian with a nice instant primary.
And there we go. This barrier does finally fall, despite all of the flip chaos that was happening, and now Flowers has to defend it away from Mudflap. Can't let this Asher get it, but he does. And the flip, the patience, even more patient by Potat. And he finds the clear out to Gwimmy.
Yeah, wow, definitely a scary situation if you're Potat, but they've been in those situations before, and they've been in them even before in this game. So they definitely seem to have gotten used to that Asher sitting in your face thing. I know that scares a lot of goalies. There's a lot of non-goalies too, but it seems that that's not something Potat quite fears here, but you should fear the damage that Mudflap is able to output. As we see, both Flowers and Potat here are less than a half HP.
Yeah, crucially, Flowers wants to make sure she stays alive in order to maintain this stacks on stacks, and an awkward angle sends it around to the opposite side. The stacks on stacks might not matter when it's like this. Sphinx pushing up, getting these passes out to Mudflap. Flowers has to keep cutting them. If she doesn't, there could be a really bad goal going down the side of Famine Corp, and there it is. Up to Mudflap. Potat does not read the angle, and we're going to set 5.
You know what I just realized? This happened exactly last game too, where one team, it looks like they're projected to win, and they get 2 sets, and then the other team just starts immediately out of nowhere reverse sweeping. Are we about to see another reverse sweep?
Hey, they're winning until they start losing, and, well, this Twin Drive pickup from Sphinx is going to be kind of big with 3 Dash Awakenings under his belt. I will admit, it would have been really funny to see him with all 4 Dash Awakenings, but unfortunately, we're not going to get to see that today. Octavia getting perfect form means that she can continue to get these cooldowns back and make it easier for her to stay up in this flow state, and, well, this Mako getting that Super Surge, a deny from Zentaro, but also, it just means that Kai gets to have that Kai speed without having to take it.
Yeah, I mean, the Zentaro deny is really good too here, as now they're just without a Dash Awakening at all. So you don't have to worry about that. And also, you know, you just want your teammates to be faster to keep up with Octavia.
It allows now Mudflap to start contesting the Octavia a little bit, which, to be honest, is pretty fake. It's mainly going to be Sphinx trying to contest this Octavia, especially with Octavia starting to build some stacks, too. Great clear out by Potat means that the barrier is safe for now, but good Strike Wars means that the barrier is found in the end, and, well, now it's an open net for Cat Munchinjors.
Yeah, open net means it's open season trying to get the score across. There's the flip, but there's the counter flip. There's the barrier all the way across. This barrier is trying its best to be held from Jewish Nation here, but it's going to be hard. But Mudflap will find the goal right in that small little pocket. It definitely weird to see. I mean, I honestly thought I saw Cast Loss Octavia here. You would think the game would be going one way, but it actually looks very strong in the other way.
Yeah, Cat Munchinjor is looking so great, but as we say that, Mudflap falls off the map, and a misflip out by Guami means that time is bought for Cat Munchinjors, but not long enough, as a hit stun means that Flowers sends it right past Jewish Asian.
Wow, I mean, that was the biggest caster's curse ever. I mean, I was saying how they look like they're so strong, and then Mudflap goes down, and the ship went with him. But now we're going to be able to see as they try to make sure that doesn't happen again. I mean, that shouldn't happen a lot. That took a flip to do, and they don't have one on Guaymi, which is the only person with enough knockback to do that. So we're going to be seeing as one barrier goes down from Sphinx. There's another one from Mudflap. And now they're going to have to try to output some barriers of their own here. It's going to be looking a little rough for them. Sphinx in the corner, trying to get it through. There's the Oni's blade, able to help defend it just a little bit longer. Just enough to keep it from Sphinx's dash, as they are now on a little bit of a cooldown here, but they do have that twin drive, so they will be dashing again very soon.
But most notably, the flow state just timed out for Octavia, and a great cyber swipe means that it's cleared away from Mudflap. Octavia really close to this flip. Sphinx looking really low, a great perfect pitch out by Jewish Asian. The flip even better by Flowers, clearing it for now, and, well, Jewish Asian, he just keeps finding these clears that he really should not be finding.
Yeah, now Flowers trying to get an up corner shot. Can't quite find it, but there's the sentry turn trying to help a little bit, but Mudflap is stopping the corner shot from going through. And now we're on match point for the side of Catmuch Enjoyers, which is not something I think anyone expected.
Hey,
Just because
I'm down to open up Nasty Season 2 with the double reverse sweep back-to-back. Be pretty fire, but what's not fire is just the fact that it just looks to be so brutally in favor of Catmuch Enjoyers. But as I say that, the double barrier nearly falls. A great offense coming in from the Famine Corp.
Yeah, I mean, we're watching here as we're making Casper Curse after Casper Curse, and Flowers is able to find that barrier there and able to maintain their flow state, trying to catch up to this ball here. We're able to grab that mid gate and now move up with this ball, but they are able to find another barrier here. Wyoming slowly pushing up with that ball, which is enough time for Flowers to get there and make the shot. And now we're on for a set 5.5.
Yeah, we are going to Silver Scrape, set 5.5. Sphinx with no energy, Flowers with no energy. Crucially, Flowers has the stacks on stacks, so if Mudflap can fish for some kill, that might be the set kind of won by Catmuch Enjoyers.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely going to be a hard fought either way, but we are going to see as one barrier is going to go down. Flowers has the ball in the corner, but not quite enough, and now the flip's going to come out to stop that second barrier from falling. Sphinx is low, but they have enough speed to just keep going, and if they get staggered, they'll get another speed awake, or another dash. Flowers also looking incredibly low here, able to get a bit of orb, staying alive, one barrier each. Definitely a tough spot to be in, because once one of these barriers goes down, it's just going to be Panic City.
Panic City, especially for, well, this Aimee, who can't really deal with a lot of the Asher dribbling, and now Sphinx taking even more damage. Has Invade to work with in case he needs it, but now Flowers needs to be really careful with this Mudflap. Now there's that open net. A pass could come to Mudflap, who has this flip. Mudflap is looking for it. He's walking forward. Sphinx looking for any angle down to this Asher. This Asher flip, waits. It's saved out by Potat. And there's that Cyber Swipe. A great strike shot by Jewish Asian means that's safe for now. Potat has this flip, looking to save it from this Asher if she walks onto this offense. But now it's on the opposite side. It's looking so dangerous. Flowers burns this flip early. Wyoming looking for some sort of strike war. Flowers wins that strike war against Jewish Asian. Now it's an open net on both sides. Flowers looking for some sort of pass, some sort of clear. Mudflap, he's waiting for a pass from Sphinx, waiting for something to find this goal, but no, a great flip out by Potat just buys even more time. Sphinx looking so low, looking for some sort of clear, doesn't really find it, but now Jewish Asian, he passes it up, it's dribbling, and oh my god, this is just going back and forth, but no, there's that flip, it's so close in the net, and it's ending for Famine Corp as they take this 2-0.
Wow, what a deny to the reverse sweep. I mean, that was looking very scary if you're Famine Corp, but at the end of the day, they were able to sneak out that victory. An MVP well-deserved from the Octavia.
Yeah, Octavia definitely doing a lot in this midfield, and once again, Flowers, 350 redirects almost, just being absolutely omnipresent on this map. And Guami, she is securing stuff, but so is Flowers, right? We see this goal share pretty even between the two of them.
Yeah, I mean, in that comp, you would expect to see more scoring from Guami, but it didn't actually it's weird because you're going into a Mako, so you aren't going to have actually that much scoring pressure on Zen, because the Zen matchup in a Mako kind of sucks in the favor of Zen. Like, you get shut down so hard. So it definitely makes sense why they had a lot more scores on the side of Flowers here, but Guami at the end of the day did still have one more and a little bit more of that up forward pressure, especially with the damage being 50,000.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, they know how to play with each other, and they did it really well.
Well, that is the opening series to Nasty Season 2, Catmuch Enjoyers versus Famine Corp. Next up, we're going to be having Dynasty Party versus Polar Cortex after a short break. Alter, is there anything else you want to say before we head off?
I don't really have much else to say other than that was a great way to start NAST Season 2.
Yeah, looks like we are getting into some of these replays, right? So I'll kind of let them play out before we hop off, but otherwise, I'm excited to see how the rest of this season shapes up. We see some great teams this season, especially in this upper middle side of things. It's definitely going to be it's definitely up in the air who's going to win NAST this season. That's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I think everyone knows the big contenders are going to be like Corpse Control and Cyberswipe here. So, but I mean, you never know. Maybe some other team will make their journey across their hit and run and be able to take the Nast by storm.
Hey, I mean, Corpse Control, Cyberswipe, great contenders, but two of our other big contenders, I would say, are also Dynasty Party and Polar Cortex, which we'll see right after a short break.
All right, everybody, and welcome back to our second series of the night. I'm Lego Bagel, Lego Mage, here with Malachi, and we are looking at a big clash of titans here. Dynasty Party versus Polar Cortex in the second series of the season here. Draft is on screen. We're going to Clarion Corp for game one. Aerial's 1-2 punch start. The characters have been locked in. We got Finny Rasmus, Imi for Dynasty, and Kazan Kai Estelle over on the side of Polar Cortex. And Malachi, what are your thoughts? What are your feelings getting into game one of this series here?
Well, this could be a very bloody game given the 1-2 punch aerial start. We could see, Imi goalies, Julie forwards, Asher forwards. This could be a very violent game from both sides of the map just by the Awakenings alone. On Clarion, which has a lot of interesting places you can get killed and damaged on. So we can see that this is definitely going to favor an aggressive start, I think.
And one thing to look at here as well is, of course, Asianator getting the Finny goalie on the 1-2 punch where aerials start. Both are like pretty. I imagine it's going to be a 1-2 punch pick. Use more value out of it, but he's a very strong goalie, and that's kind of the character he's known to play. And Polar Cortex have opted to go with banning the brawler out, which I think is interesting, since it's not something that you see like super often, right? Because brawler pools are generally quite wide and usually kind of versatile. So you try to target down like one of the big midfielders or something, but they opted to get rid of the Asher here. And we'll see if that's going to pay off for them or not. Both sides, though, looking pretty aggressive, like you said, in terms of their core control. Really looking to just keep it on the other team's side of the field as long as possible with these comps. And if it does get back to their side, rather than turtling up, they're going to just try and, as efficiently as possible, get it back over. So it's interesting to see which side's going to end up doing that better here as we get in to the game. Everyone's locking in.
Yeah, Swaghaver's Rasmus is known for being quite good, so I think we're going to see some peak Omega Strikers here with this, especially with this 1-2 punch aerials. Let's see what they opted for. Oh, yep, you were right. Asianator opted for the 1-2 punch. Rasmus on the aerials should help his hook and ability to, get to the core faster and keep control of it and apply pressure. And it's looking like only Kazan has taken 1-2 for Polar here, and that's not surprising because it's quite good on that character.
Also, aerials doesn't really work on him, but it's going to be a quick goal here from name Chaotic. Nice little hook to reel it in past Mikhaila to start off the series. Polar Cortex going to go first up on the board. The Fool, Swaghaver not really getting too many interactions in that short of a point here, but Dynasty Party, well, they look to take pretty commanding kickoff there. No barriers just yet. We'll see if they're able to tie this one up.
Yeah, it's already taken a point here and barrier quick from Dynasty here, Dynasty Party. For those that don't know, this is actually a very familiar team from the last NAST. They actually managed to take it all the way, but Polar Cortex is throwing the number one player from last season that they are here to make a name for themselves already.
And Chaotic does have a pretty mean Kazan. And currently, it's kind of like we were mentioning at the beginning, right? The momentum swing in each points ends up being pretty big. The Finny Rasmus Imi is going to fold under sustained pressure, especially up in close quarters. And Name Chaotic has so many tools to keep that pressure on. So it really seems like Polar Cortex so far getting the better out of the team comp trade there. Bit of a whiff flip from Asianator. It's not a stellar way to start that off. The Fool from the midfield, though, going to get a flip pass for that second barrier. Kyla also using a flip here. Flip from A. He's going to get blocked away by Mikhaila, though. Name Chaotic will claim the orb and go big, going to town on Swaghaver. That's going to be a KO. Here, the Fool pushing back up to the midfield, past the Name Chaotic to sink it into the top. They're really playing with two midfielders here on a forward. No one even left on Polar Cortex's side of the field all inning and playing the aggression quite well.
Yeah, with proper spacing, Kazan and Estelle can apply immense pressure without even being in your face necessarily, just because of the way that Crooked Leverage works, the way that, the Rose Thorns work. It's just, especially on a character that doesn't have a creation that can repeatedly block on defense, it might make it hard for this Finny Imi midfield to actually stop this pressure so Swaghaver can rule the court, but it's looking rough, especially with this draft pickup. More Crystal Thorns coming out from the extra special. Kazan getting Catalyst. If he gets an Egoist, it might be doomed.
Yeah, Alienator did pick up the Fight or Flight, which is a pretty healthy pickup there. We got some dash range on Mikaela as well. Some sparks falling down at the end there to Swaghaver. And the Fool, both teams going to have some options for that late game scaling, should it end up going there. But still, Polar Cortex holding it down. They will lose a barrier, but picking up KO in return is not bad. The midfielder out of it for just a bit here. So we have the Swaghaver and Asianator to hold it down for the next few seconds. Nice dribble to buy some time. Named Chaotic though, and A bringing it up to the top corner. Bring down that barrier before Mikaela respawns. Now Dynasty's last chance to get something off of this. Named Chaotic has a flip available though. And the Fool and A looking to work their way back up the field. Still holding on to it in the corner here. Gonna go for the crook leverage. Shot to the top. A save from Asianator, but the flip KO. Named Chaotic's gonna dunk it in on the goal line. Polar Cortex now 4 goals in a row, unanswered.
Yeah, that was a pretty good precise save from Asianator, but Kazan's kit is fully loaded, and with a flip, it's just another ability that he has in order to apply pressure again to a goalie who doesn't have any real multi-block techniques other than her secondary. And while it does have a short cooldown, it is not infinite, so you have to use it wisely still.
Now on our bouncy castle map, Named Chaotic and the Fool pushing up once again, letting A rotate back. Good goalie rotations this game out of Polar Cortex, consistently making it difficult for Dynasty to contend with the constant rotation of cooldowns. Both sides will get opened up here. Core flip now coming out from A. Seal that second barrier here. Crook leverage from Named Chaotic. Mikaela on the defense, but a lot of damage on both of them. Swaghaver has a flip available. They got to get it back up to him. Bouncing around, it goes wide, and the flip's going to whiff. A with the piercing shot's going to set it up. Crystal Thorns coming in there, looking for the pressure. A shot from A. Right off the little bounce there. And it will be good. Polar Cortex still holding Dynasty Party to nothing.
Yeah, it's an immense amount of pressure just from this team in general. Like, even if they want to, Kai can defend, but he can also make those pushes that are like perfect with the ranged setups from Estelle and Kazan. I mean, Kazan's extra strike range plus his hook, it just gives them a way to just layer on pressure from mid range. And Kazan's still a brawler. He can still get on you in the close range. So it's just giving them so much pressure compared to the other characters' kits. I think it's just, I don't know. It's just, I just think the character comps is much more favored towards Polar Cortex.
Well, I think also the way that they've been playing, they've been rotating out the Fool into the front line so often.
Yeah, that's something I was picking up on. Yeah,
like the Fool has been on the other side of the map in Dynasty's goal box more than they've been in their own, which is crazy, but like very coordinated and looking really good because it's just so many cooldowns coming out. When A is out of cooldowns, they let the Fool take over. When Named Chaotic's out of cooldowns, A takes over. They just kind of keep it going. Asianator and Mikaela, they just can't keep up with it.
Yeah, we've seen the power of Kai with speed, able to make these rotation plays, and now he's going with the Spark of Agility with his already existing Spark. He'll be running up there a lot more, I feel, in this next set, and they've really got to be prepared. I mean, with the Timeless, that is something that can help on defense or offense, should they need it. So I think that's a really good pickup for them. Is it going to be game defining? I don't know if it will be as much as this double Spark on the Kai will be.
Yeah, I don't think that it will. I have to agree with you there. The Sparks are pretty notable. The hot shot as well in A, and of course Named Chaotic getting a Dash Awakening. Swaghaver did pick up Egoist, but I think it's just going to be too little too late. seeing as, well, Swaghammer hasn't really got to touch the core all that much. And here we go, once again, the Fool up in midfield, just letting A hang back just a little bit to catch an occasional rogue core. Island's Aginator putting on a class of how to try and defend against this, but you really can't. Something's going to break eventually here. They do have Name Chaotic, kind of injured. Core flip from Mikaela, past to Swaghammer. Unfortunately, no good follow-up. Giga Blast past to Name Chaotic, going to find the core flip shot to the bottom. Beautiful shot placement there. Polar Cortex still looking to make it a shutout.
Yeah, they do not want to lose this one. I can tell because even beyond all that, Name Chaotic is not playing scared, even when he's shattered like that, and he's still making the plays. He doesn't care, and he's watching those Finny cooldowns. He knows when his core flips are going to be on point, and he goes for them. And being able to consistently core flip and maximize the use of resources is pretty important in this game. And I think we're going to see a lot more of that, given he has Catalyst and they're trying to kill him, which just kind of helps the Catalyst more.
A core flip back pass to the Fool there. Didn't get much off of it. They still have the core in the bottom corner. The Giga Blast is going to be good. In the bottom corner there, the Fool timing up a nice shot. Great passing plays coming out from the forward and the goalie duo, who have taken over Dynasty's side of the field now. And Polar Cortex on match point for game one.
And this isn't really looking like your typical game of Omega Strikers at all, the way the Fool is playing. And I think it's actually maybe throwing a little bit of a brain destroyer into this team that probably wasn't expecting them to play like this. Incredibly aggressive, all gas, no brakes, and the game is over just like that.
Wow. Yeah, Polar Cortex coming out really hot in that game. Very interesting playstyle. Not one that we see super often. It's not easy to do, for sure. Definitely is going to take quite a bit of coordination, quite a bit of team chemistry there, and while Polar Cortex, they have got it with that match there. A complete shutout, no goals for Dynasty Party. The reigning champ held to nothing, and a pretty impressive stat line. 2 goals on the Fool, 21 shots, same as Name Chaotic, and 92 redirects, same as the midfielder. All 3 of them working in tandem to get the job done in game 1. Going over to Polar Cortex. Gonna see what Dynasty Party's gonna have to change up. Going over to Night Market for game 2.
Yeah, it's gonna be well, that match wasn't actually as bloody as it was core control-y, in my opinion. Now Night Market, depending on our start awakenings, could change that. I think what we were really seeing from that last game was really just an immense amount of core goes the opposite way as our goal, and the enemy team just couldn't handle the pressure. It was just, you've seen football game plans where they draw all the arrows. Well, this arrow was just an arrow facing left, just a bunch of arrows going left. Not much thought into it except how well they could keep the core from coming back to their side. It was just all pressure, all game.
Yeah, the boots on the Kai definitely helped out a lot, as well as having that aerial start. Allowed the Fool to really get up there and make those rotation plays happen. And of course, A did a very good job of covering right behind wherever they went, so that they never got punished for it. Is kind of the big thing, right? Like they held Mikaela and Aginator to their side of the field the entire game, and when it did get loose, they were always able to recover it. Like they lost very little from pushing up like that, which is normally a very dangerous thing. But I think the big thing here is Dynasty Party kind of just really got outplayed. I'll be honest.
Yeah,
like
that's just what it is.
Yeah,
I don't think there's much more way of explaining that match.
The team chemistry was heavily in Polar Cortex's favor, regardless, I think, of team comp. So we'll have to see. They're really going to have to kind of go back to the lab and figure out what they're going to have to do to answer this, because that's a pretty unorthodox way, I think, to start out a series. Polar Cortex really like genuinely, I can't stress that enough. Like, they looked really unique there. Like, that looks like a real team identity that we haven't really seen very much of.
Yeah, I think Dynasty definitely has a way of pulling this back. This is a very experienced team. They know the game very well. I think they just need to breathe, analyze what just happened. Try to maybe counter that strategy on Night Market. No, sorry, Night Market. It is a tighter map, so they can go for KOs to stop the pressure if they want to, if they choose to. Finney's quite good at enabling that.
So
And
honestly, I think genuinely an answer might just be to play. I think I am understanding why the Asher ban came out, because I'm thinking about it. And I feel like Asher goalie really solves a lot of those problems.
yeah, I think it
Like
would
honestly, I think barrier beam is like so good into Kai like running up with you with barrage like that, and that was like what they were dealing with basically all game. Because like the problem obviously with Finney is like once they get in close and
too.
you
Yeah,
don't
that's
have
kind
a
of what I had
secondary,
mentioned.
yeah, you don't have.
Yeah,
There's nothing left in the tank. But look once again, Polar Cortex banning out the Asher, and Dynasty Party actually choosing to ban out the Kazan from Name Chaotic was definitely scary. But with Built Diff on the board and Chrono Boost as well, Night Market known for the kitten comps existing, I could see a myriad of combos you could go with here. Obviously now, and Aimee probably going to be pretty decent picks. Looks like the Kai is going to come out once again here for Polar Cortex though with the Chrono Boost obviously, and I think they're just going to run it back really. And with a performance like that, I don't see why you wouldn't.
yeah, I think. Oh man, this is gonna be a heater game again. I think for maybe one-sided once again, but I do think Dynasty Party can figure this out. I mean, I know the players on that team. I don't think this is gonna be a 3-0 again. I think they've already been in their think tank. I think they've discussed this. Now does hold lanes really well in this map. Quite the good midfielder. As much as Era's fallen out, we see Rasmus on Dynasty this time. Oh wait, no, that was Dynasty last time. So we see Rasmus again on Swaghaver. Swaghaver's quite at the character. I'm not surprised that it got picked again.
I know Mikaela has a pretty good now as well.
Oh, absolutely. As somebody who's played against it, I know they got it.
Yeah, it's a good combo here on this map as well. You have the side start, you have the Chrono Boost as well. There's like a Dubu and Juliet coming out, so this might actually be a midfield Kai. I'd be very surprised if they ran this Dubu forward, especially with the Juliet pick. I mean, it's possible, but I doubt it. I think they're just gonna go with Dubu goalie, put the Kai on A, and then a Juliet here for named Chaotic. And there's the Atlas pickup from Dynasty Party. Like we mentioned, they have in fact decided to go with the Turtle goalie to try and hold it down. See how this ends up playing out here. Definitely a different game plan, and I have definitely very favorable awakenings for the side of Dynasty Party to start with. So we'll see if they're able to bring it back. But Polar Cortex, man, that game one looked scary.
Yeah, I think this will help a lot against that Kai barrage. Maybe not against the Atlas primary, but the Atlas secondary will seal it out. I think that's going to be a lot more helpful than Finney secondary, because Finney secondary, it doesn't quite hold well against barrage and things like that. So with the Fool pushing up as much as he does and rotating with his team, I think this is the pick. They thought it through. They realized what happened, and this is their answer. Let's see if the answer is correct.
Nationator on the Atlas. Kind of the two Titan melee goalies here that fell out of favor a little bit. Interesting, no Mako pick going up. They just want the wall. They don't need the buff. But looks like the players are readying up, so we should be jumping into it in just a moment. Curious to see how this ends up panning out here. I want to say that Dynasty on paper has, I think last comps were kind of weird, these ones are more like a lot more vanilla, right? Like what you'd expect. And I want to say that on paper, Dynasty sort of has a stronger team here, right? Kai, Dubu, Juliet is sort of like all reliable, but it definitely, I think, has like a ceiling of like what you can do with it. Whereas like the Rasmus now, there's a little bit more versatility there.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see how Dynasty ends up playing this. And if they able to make it a more of an even game, or if Polar Cortex are just too hot tonight and just make it a sweep.
I get the feeling it might not be a sweep this time. I'm feeling the character comfort on Mikaela, name Chaotic on the Julie on Night Market.
Wow. The Fool goes for the Pauldrons on the Dubu. The double size start. No speed. This is the opposite of what they were doing last time. Which is kind of interesting. But yeah, Chrono Boost on the midfield to everyone else. Going for the size there. Strike shot on Asianator. No big surprises. But we'll see if large Dubu is able to hold it down now. Or Swaghaver is going to make some good use of that mobility, that extra size. And can get the core around him.
I think with really good and really tight, patient ability usage, this massive Dubu is honestly going to cause a huge problem, even for Erasmus with size to get through. I mean, the roll hitbox is maybe even bigger than Rasmus's whip, so we'll have to see how that pans out in practice. But it's not Pauldron's Dubu is not something you see every day, and I do actually enjoy seeing things like that.
Yeah, obviously it comes with a big cost of you are very, very slow. And with a team like now in Rasmus, they have a lot of myriad of ways of getting the core around you. And if this one barrier does go down, things are going to become very tough to defend on the open goal for sure. Well, a nice astral projection from Asianator there. Nice strike shot to save as well. As a core flip available, flurries from Name Chaotic. Burns the flip, it gets stalled out, but he's going to win the strike war regardless. And clear it on out of there. We are in overtime, so Swaghaver going to pick up the KO. Onto the Brawler. Core flip coming out. The Fool able to shut it down with the roll. Tofu to buy some time as well. Looks like it'll get set back to Asianator here. And it's just all time for Name Chaotic to come back. Giga Blast from A from the midfield. Sneaks it past Asianator into the bottom corner. And Polar Cortex now 10 points in a row on Dynasty Party.
Yeah, that's not something you see every day, but Polar Cortex came into NAST all cylinders firing, and it shows. This was a team that we kind of see as a second seed, and they're proving they've earned that second seed even against first seed. If you had told me this was first seed versus second seed, I wouldn't believe you. But since I already know, I'm impressed in what I'm seeing in this matchup. I thought would be a lot more that 5.5e.
Well, Dynasty has plenty of time yet. Back down to the dreaded one barrier. Very familiar scenario here, except this time Name Chaotic will find the dash punch. Nice passing plays on the defensive end here as A tries to work their way back up. The Fool now in midfield. Core flip coming out from Mikaela. Try and buy some time. The flourish from Name Chaotic, but Asianator will send it wide. Swaghaver comes back now looking for the KO. Name Chaotic avoiding the death touch though. It will be good to keep the offense up as the Fool now becoming the forward Dubu. Letting A hold it down in the backfield. Head into overtime here. The rotation now going back to pretty normal. Still, the barrier remaining up for Polar Cortex. A playing it real patient. Just looking for an opportunity to find a pass to Name Chaotic. Not looking to rush it. They have the barrier advantage. And the core flip on the goalie. Name Chaotic now looking for a breakaway. Astral Projection is going to shut that down. Pass down to A on the bottom side. Barrage with the expanse will stop it. Kylo on the defense, trying to get it back over to Swaghaver, has the whiplash, but still can't get it past the Fool. They keep attacking this top corner, and the Fool always has cooldowns. Core flip from Asianator to get out of Name Chaotic's flurries, and they'll be good for another round. But A, pass back into the corner. Mikaela, though, going to win the strike war and keep it held down. Swaghaver going back into the top corner once again, but it's 1v2, and A's going to make the breakaway. Name Chaotic, dribble on the bottom, going for the top. Asianator with the strike shot, sends it wide.
And that's something I'm noticing is, because Dubu has Pauldrons, all his moves are going to red core with ease, and that actually might might be the thing that kind of balances out the fact that Dubu doesn't have speed. The core on the out clears is gonna be fast in its own right, which, you know, it might not be as good as being able to like walk up and, you know, throw some soup down on your opponents to score an easy goal or anything like that and apply pressure. But even still, I've noticed they're still running a rotational playstyle, even with this Dubu on Pauldrons. It's just they have to be a little bit more cautious about how they do it, but they are doing it. Ooh,
but that's going to seal the deal. Named Chaotic found the opportunity right as the Expanse went to find the KO on Aginator. A very long point there. Aginator did some good job clearing it around the Juliet. They even earned the core flip. But Dynasty cannot score on the Fool. This guy is an iron wall against Swaghaver and Mikhaila. It's kind of crazy.
And the thing about losing the barrier, one barrier, is sometimes that can actually make the goalies mental a bit better. They just realize, oh, if I can just stand on this one barrier with my pauldrons and build different, they'll never take it from me, even with Rasmus, even with Now, and they don't try to waste too much effort trying to protect both of them. And that's kind of what it seems like Dubu's doing in this game. Like, the Fool is just...
But Aginator
evade.
evaded the punch and cleared it out of there. Wow. But now it's a one barrier game again. And Swaghaver, in no way of getting it, it's going to hit the log. And now Aginator once again has to find a way to get it out. A has a core flip available though. They're pushing up hard. Core flip from Mikhaila, but the flourish from Named Chaotic. Flip from A, pass to Named Chaotic. The core flip, double KO for the dunk. Named Chaotic sinks it in. What a play from Polar Cortex to steal set one away.
That was devastating. Like, Julie ult, just right on that line. It's always tough to deal with. You sometimes you just think you're gonna survive it, and then you don't, and then you're both dead, and then there's just no saving it. That was nasty.
Yeah, nasty indeed. And Stagger Swagger. Not Swaghaver. Stagger Swagger going over to A. Definitely going to be a big pickup there for the extra speed, and stacks over to Mikhaila, the midfielders. Both getting something nice. Spark investment from Named Chaotic for the power. Swaghaver going. The rapid fire Aginator going to get that nice siege machine for the duration. But the Fool picking up team player, I think, is actually going to be pretty big for them, considering how good the defense has already been. It's just going to be even more efficient clearing. And I think Polar Cortex... Well, I don't think there are very many Awakenings that can really help Dynasty in the face of this. They can't score, is the problem. And
yeah, this dude was just about to go back into that defend the one barrier mode now, and I think that's just where he shines with the pauldrons. Julie has a spark now, so even if they do try to start bringing this game back, they can scale through the sparks to ensure that perhaps they can't. It's tough. I don't feel like the draft really favors Dynasty at all after that first draft. I mean, stacks on stacks getting reset by Julie is probably going to happen even if they do get close to max or max. I think this is just a rough place to be.
Core flip there from Named Chaotic. Just going to get the barrier and Aginator's flip as well. A nice team player pass to Named Chaotic there. The log sending it back in. Core flip to the top side from Mikhaila, but A pushing up it. Blurry's on the goal line, flips it out, stalls it for fun, and sinks it in. The third time Aginator has been KO'd this game by a core. Well, the second time by a core flip, third time overall. Polar Cortex are making it look easy.
Which is really surprising. I see a lot of good defensive plays out of Aginator. I see a lot of good, like, plays in general, but, like, it's just... it's a different breed coming out of Polar Cortex, I've noticed. And even with Named Chaotic making an accidental dribble that sent the core back to their field on the last point, they still clutched it when they needed to and made it look really impressive anyways. Like, even when they make mistakes, they're not punished for it, and that's really why I think the difference in power scaling this game has been, this series, I should say.
Yeah, for sure. The Fool is definitely living in Swaghaver's walls, especially in this game. Let me defend. Because very ironic. Yeah.
Yeah, seeing as though Whoa!
Just wide
What
of
a
the
shot.
stands. Yeah, that wasn't even a shot. A just hit it with the Giga Blast trying to get it through Mikaela, but it like bounced off the wall and it stopped its momentum and just slowly drifted to the top corner, just out of range of the Expanse and kind of floated in there. Polar Cortex now on set point.
Polar Cortex, they're having a bit of fun with their call-outs. You know, we saw all of them there for a moment, and they know we can see them because they're on blue team. They're trying to be a little funny. But, I mean, when you're in a position like this, it might be a time for humor if you want to kind of flex a little bit. But, you know, that mentality can also bite in the butt. I mean, don't start celebrating too early. There's still a game going.
Certainly, but one barrier is still up for the Fool as they're going to take down the second one. Core flip from A. Bounce off the center.
Incredible!
Times it into the bottom. A beautiful shot from A to take the set. Polar Cortex putting on a masterclass of how to score here today. And they're going to be rewarded big. Perfect form on the board. We're going to see double Sparks and Rampage showing up as well as that other Size Awakening Big Fish. A's going to get the first pick here. We'll go actually with the cast to last for the speed. Perfect form going to fall to Mikaela. Spark on Name Chaotic. It's the speed one, so speed and power. Extra special on Asianator. Interesting pickup is more of a deny really against the Fool, who's just going to get more size. Rampage going over to Swaghaver, but they've only been able to pick up one barrier every point. They haven't even opened up Polar Cortex's side of the field yet. So with that, I mean, Polar Cortex, it's just paperwork at this point, I think. And the Fool just got even bigger.
Yeah, just as I predicted, that spark on Julie just like I don't know if reverse scale is the way I would say. Like, it just prevents the enemy from stopping you from scaling, right? Unless they're able to pick up the sparks. So you can just stop them from reverse sweeping you if you're able to get them first. And not just that, but like, I think the only hope here is Swaghaver getting a bunch of Rampage stacks and not dying to Julie. I think if there was a comeback item that could pull it out for you, it would have to be Rasmus with Rampage and not getting dead.
It's not just getting dead, it's actually getting the barriers. Because, like, they've only gotten one barrier per point. Like, where the stack's coming from when you can't...
True, yeah, you do make a good point. Yeah, you do make a good point. This Pauldron's Dubu has been...
Take another one. KO's Asianator. Oh my goodness. And now the Fool up in their business. Core flip from Mikaela to buy some time. Bounces off the center, though. Core moving quite fast. Asianator's going to come back online. Core flip from Name Chaotic will get blocked by the Expanse. But it seems like it's just a matter of time here before Polar Cortex are finally able to sink it in. As they still have the one barrier up and just can do whatever they want. It will be a KO, though. Onto A. And for the first time, Dynasty will bring down the second barrier to open up the goal here. And Mikaela with the double, though. KOs the Fool. And now we have a game on our hands. Mikaela down to Swaghaver.
There we go.
Stuff to take the point. Dynasty finally put themselves on the board.
The curse is broken. Now, if there was a moment for a team to gain morale, that's the one. That's the point that can restore the team morale. They got 2 kills, they got both barriers, and they scored. I mean, that's really what this team has been waiting for the whole time. Maybe they just unlocked the part of their brain that wins them this game. This could be the moment. This could be the thing that changes everything.
Hey, it starts with 1, and they have a set to work with. They do have an open goal, though, and Name Chaotic looking for that corner pressure. Will get defended away, but A still looking to send it back in. Name Chaotic is pretty hurt and trying to survive here. Will get the orb, a nice elusive as well. Managed to run away and recover. The Fool back pass to Name Chaotic, sends it back and procs the team player A, able to set up a dime right to the bottom half of the net. Bounce off the wall. Asianator could not read that one. Polar Cortex tie it up 1-1 in the sets and continue on their way, potentially taking the series.
Yeah, the immense pressure we saw in Game 1 is back in Game 2. Even though they did get scored on once this set, it's just looking like more of the same at this point. It's just, you know, you've seen the Zerg rush maybe in RTS games. This is what this is. This is the OS equivalent of the Zerg Rush, and that's just
Another
brutal.
one. Name Chaotic has Asianators number this game. Another flip goal KO for the Juliet forward there.
You know, I really wanted to find a way to explain how Dynasty could come back, but I'm witnessing a masterclass coming out from Polar Vortex. If it's gonna be like this every week, oh, now the fool is emoting on them, bro. This is
A in the corner. All three of them on Dynasty. They defended. They almost got KO'd though. A's gonna try it again here. Dave Chaotic is gonna go back and get the orb, so they're gonna have to recover for just a second. They might have the opportunity here. The Super's out. The Fool pushing up to the corner. Dash punch from Dave Chaotic. Another KO on Asianator. It's a power play from the goalie once again. Swaghammer trying to buy time. Can use a death touch. Name Chaotic. Mikhaila has a core flip available. The Fool's trying to pass it in. He's up in the midfield once again in the corner. Core flip from Mikhaila gets stalled out. The expansion from Asianator, who just respawned, will be able to save it. Mikhaila's going to be able to get the second barrier here. Second time the goal's been open, but Name Chaotic, the dash punch onto Swaghammer. Another power play, the Fool laying down once again here. Just standing still, really. Trying to get it over.
He's doing a little bit of a
to the bottom.
Oh, wow.
Steals it away. And that's Polar Cortex taking their first series in NAST.
I gotta say, I think it's been a very long time since I've seen, what is that, an 18-1? That's rough.
That was crazy. 9 KOs from Name Chaotic. 209 redirects from A. 155 from the Fool. 118 from Name Chaotic. Wow. I mean, they had some incredible team chemistry there. An offensive masterclass, really, from Polar Cortex. They knew how to score, and I mean, the Fool might be an impenetrable wall, at least against Dynasty Party there.
I think
they had infinite chances, basically.
If there was a game to VOD review or a series to VOD review, not just for Dynasty Party, but for all the teams in NAST, I think this might be the series you might need to VOD review at the start of the
Study this tape. Study the tape.
Yeah, you gotta study the tape. If you're not studying the tape after tonight, I don't think you're winning. Like, unless there's some crazy stuff that happened in some of the other games, I think you might want to study this one. This might be the matchup to study, because you're gonna need it.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see if Polar Cortex is able to keep it up. We've seen before where a team will come out swinging and then just fizzle out later in the season. So it's one thing to be really good opening night. It's another thing to continuously do that.
Consistency.
And also win. Yeah, consistency is big for real. But yeah, Polar Cortex really playing extremely well these two games for sure. I'm excited to see what else this team has to offer, because it just feels like their chemistry is really up there. Like they had full faith in each other. They were not playing selfishly at all. Like they were passing it. They were doing some back passes. We were seeing some back passes where Name Chaotic would go back to recover an orb, and the Fool would back pass it to them, just to get it away, and then they'd send it back to proc the team players. Some really cool stuff coming out from that team. So definitely one to keep your eye on. Dynasty Party definitely has some kinks to work out, but I have faith that they will get back into the playoff contention for sure. But that's all we have tonight. Those two series. There's some other ones going on, obviously in the background, so I don't think we have like a current standings list, but
actually, if you go to the bracket, you can go if you type exclamation point bracket and go to standings. Yeah, I could.
Let's see that.
Let me see.
Let's see where we're at.
Let me just read down the line here.
Do we have a graphic?
I don't believe so.
Oh, okay. Well, then I guess just read it.
So we got Polar Cortex. Oh yeah, sure.
All right, hang on. We're gonna get a graphic.
just a moment. I think there are still some games in progress anyway, so it's not
Yeah.
exactly gonna be a full rundown of tonight's results, but you will be able to see the standings and kind of see where we are as of this moment. That should be on screen shortly.
Yeah, we do have set-based tiebreakers as well. Not that those are super important right now, because it's only week 1, but yeah, looking at
You
this,
definitely want to be winning sets.
Well, yeah, obviously you want to be winning sets. So far, everything looking relatively. Like, I don't think there's been any like crazy major upsets. I guess Galactic Space Cows won both of their series. I'm not sure who they were playing, but they were sort of middle of the pack seeded, so that's cool to see.
Yeah, Space Cows played against Power of Friendship, which seed-wise was an upset, and Yin and Yang, which also seed-wise would have been an upset. So actually, maybe there was some upset. It was only a difference of like 5 and 4 slots, but still not the favorite team to win both of those games back-to-back.
Yeah, there's 6 teams still playing their series, it looks like, but Polar Cortex, Galactic Space Cows won both of theirs. Cat Munch Enjoyers are 1 loss, 1 win. Or sorry, they're 1 loss, 1 win. Dynasty Party is a 1 loss, 1 win. Cyberswipe is 1 loss, 1 win, and Yin and Yang is 2 losses. Everyone else is still going, so there's nothing definitive on that, but here's our current standings so far. Obviously, later tonight, when they're done, you'll see the full roster, but that's all from our stream. That's all that we're streaming tonight. So is there anything else to say before we go?
Not at the moment. I think that pretty much covers the coverage for tonight. Yeah, I think we'll just get a better ending graphic for the results of the night screen. Even if they can't be 100% complete by the time we show them each night, you should get a little bit of a better experience next time on the end screen for the night's standings. Other than that, I think that's all we really have.
Yeah, well, with that, we'll be back next week, next Monday, same time, 8 p.m. for week 2 of NAST. So thank you all for watching, and we'll see you next week.
See you next week.